Welcome, everyone, to a very special presentation. You've got two moms who are revolutionizing and innovating and disrupting the peace. And so it should be. Welcome, and let's celebrate Mother's Day.
Empowering women on a global scale. Welcome to Powerful Women Today with Carolina Billings. Powerful Women Today is on a mission of inclusion, rewriting his story to include her story, and empowering, raising, and amplifying women's voices with professional speaking, publishing, original podcasting, and web TV. And now here's your host, the founder of Powerful Women Today, Carolina Billings.
So I have with me one of my favorite professionals, favorite colleagues, but most of all, as amazing as she is at everything she touches, she kicks bum as a mom. So I am so excited because you know what? Is nothing I do compares to being a mom. And to this day, we'll talk about it. And really, this is the executive and the reality of a high achieving, powerful woman whose main priority is to be a good mom. So welcome, Lucia.
Thank you, Carolina. It's always nice to be with you, and especially on Mother's Day, particularly with my topic that I evangelize as much as anyone will pretend to listen. So thank you.
You know what? You and I, right? We'll speak to anything that stops long enough for us to share such an important message. So today we have a very special celebration. We're honoring, motherhood, but we're also honoring our global, spirit. So we're actually celebrating 2 days. We're celebrating May the 10th, which is Mother's Day for a lot of people in the world, and my heritage being Hispanic and in Spanish, and of course May the 14th, which is our North American day that we celebrate Mother's Day. So this is going to run twice.
Why not?
Keep repeating the message. This should be run every day.
Well, it's partly how we learn, actually. It's how children learn, but it's also how adults learn. It's through repetition.
That's right. That's right. So today we're going to, have fun. We are going to give you 5 things to reflect upon and to ponder for Mother's Day and every day. So we're going to start with number 5. We're going to count down. So the role of motherhood cannot be even captured. So we're going to start with the actual future generations. So not only are moms providing the future generation, war and peace, future war and peace is being taught right now to future leaders at home. So let's talk about some of the skills that we are teaching our children who are our future leaders.
Exactly. So my topic of expertise is negotiation. And negotiation is not just for business. It is everybody's business. And it starts with yourself. Mm-hmm. And it starts at home.
Yes.
So part of the process of learning to be a negotiator is recognizing when you're in a negotiation. And so let's talk about being a mom of a toddler who doesn't want to eat their peas. That's a negotiation. You're in it.
That's right.
First of all, recognize it as a negotiation. Now you're going to start to practice some of the tools. And these tools then translate out into the larger world, into the workplace, into the community. They translate everywhere. So this is a leverage versus power situation. All right. You are the more powerful party.
High stakes.
Okay. Well, it's kind of low stakes. And that's my point, is that you want to be practicing everyday negotiation skills in familiar low stakes settings, so that when you get to the higher stakes settings down the road, you're going to be that much more confident and competent and prepared. So getting your toddler to eat their peas or their broccoli is a low stakes familiar setting. And it's a classic example of power versus leverage. And what it teaches about war and peace as well, because you're going to be modeling behavior for your child that then they can repeat. So you are the more powerful party as the parent. You are bigger, you are stronger, you have a more developed brain, you have more control over your gross motor skills and your fine motor skills, all of these things. You have more resources. But only your toddler can eat their peas. You cannot force them to do so. Therefore, your toddler has the leverage in that situation. And that is the difference between power and leverage. So that's negotiation tip number one in that situation. Brilliant. So what you need to do is somehow work with the fact that they've got the leverage. How can you do that? Well, the first thing you want to do is ask, well, what makes it important to me that my toddler eats their peas? All right. So don't get into a power struggle with your toddler. That's a no-no. All right. And what are you emulating for them as well? Why do I need them to eat their peas? You know, can I let them win this one? Right. Well, if I do let them win this one, what is that communicating for future behavior? Okay. Right. So if you answer that question, what interest do the peas serve? Is it nutrition? Okay. Nutrition. Let's unpack that more. Well, what about it? Does it have to have certain vitamins and minerals to qualify? Does it have to be green? Could it be
white? Have to be peas?
Yeah, could it be cauliflower? If it does have to be green, could it be broccoli? Could it be green beans? Could it be lima beans? There are other options. And so then maybe this is getting to the using that leverage. You can give them a choice, or at least the appearance of a choice. Would you like broccoli, green beans, or peas with your mac and cheese for dinner? Okay. The green vegetable is non-negotiable. You're giving them some agency over it. You're giving them 3 choices. You can also use that leverage as a carrot and not a stick. So when they say, Mommy, can we watch Little Mermaid after dinner? Instead of, no, you haven't eaten your peas. Yes, as soon as you finish your peas. Okay. Yes. Then there's using a third party as an audience. So that favorite aunt or uncle who comes over and devours their peas. Your child wants to be just like their auntie or their uncle when they grew up. And so they imitate them and eat their.
But you know, that is so important because, you know, there's, and this is not one of the 5, but well, let's make it 5.1.
Okay.
Which is, you know, how couples say, some couples, some parents say, you know, they never let their kids see them fight. And it's like, you know, no, there's nothing wrong with your kids seeing you have a disagreement. The important part is for them to see how you reconcile.
Right. You can have heated discussions and show how you get through them and you come out the other side of them. Conflict is not a bad thing. Conflict, in fact, is often a sign that something is overripe for progress and change. So the trick is to get to the other side of that.
That's right. Even agreeing to disagree. But these are all the kids are watching. If you think they are not, you know, being the mother of a full-baked grown adult now, I have to tell you, I am shocked at the things that he repeats or he understands because he was listening when a lot of times we don't think they are.
Exactly.
So next, mothers as drivers of the economy.
Oh, absolutely. So did you know that 70% of US mothers anyway are working outside the home? Okay. So the economy cannot afford to lose mothers. And we are contributing an average of 40% to household income. And in the poorest families, that statistic increases to 86% of household income. Now let's layer on top of that the fact that women negotiate their compensation packages 8 times less often than men. Okay.
Yeah, we're going to get to that. Let's not jump ahead.
All right. I don't want to mess up the agenda, but so mothers as drivers of the economy, we're out there, we're contributing to the economy, we're contributing to household income significantly. And we are also 75% of caregivers are women who are either underpaid or not paid.
And if not the primary decision makers, certainly the influencing force on purchasing decisions. So brands, pay attention. The mom dollar is queen.
Well, and we
Queen.
are also the primary shoppers in our
That's right.
families too, and not
That
just for
is
shoes. Okay.
abs- absolutely right. So negotiation starts with yourself. I love that. And then at home, we spoke about the toddlers and peace, but negotiations begin with yourself.
Right. So it's that inner voice where it's even something just as small as, if I go to the gym before work, then I could spend time with my family after dinner. Right.
That's right.
And it's also the negotiation you have with yourself where you ask, do I say something? Do I
Mhm.
speak up
Mhm.
about that injustice, about that
The
insult,
third shift.
about that? Well, right, about the responsibilities, and maybe there's an imbalance there with a
Mhm.
spouse or a partner. Do I say something? Do I not? What would be the consequences or outcomes if I do say something? What kind of allies do I think I need in order to speak up, say about something offensive that happened in the workplace, or the committee that you're on, the fundraising committee you're on for your child's school, and the distribution of tasks, or that you disagree about the sponsor, right? Do you say something or do you not?
And
Is that
at home, make sure everyone's an active participant in the success of the team, of the family team.
that
It's not just
and
for
that,
mom
but
to fix
also
all, right?
exactly, Carolina.
Mhm.
And then it's the negotiating your own boundaries.
That's
So we talk about how women, I said, and I'll say it again later, that we negotiate our compensation 8 times less often than men. We enter into negotiations at all 4 times less often than men. And one thing, though, that we do negotiate too frequently is our own boundaries. Right,
Ooh.
because we're told and we're conditioned to give and give and give, right? To pay
Mhm.
it forward, to
Right.
don't rock the boat, and just cooperate and go. And so we go, oh, okay, I guess I can nudge that boundary. I guess that's a soft boundary. That's just a line in the sand. We can dust that over. And so we need to be standing firm in our boundaries, and that doesn't make you respected less. It makes you respected more. When you negotiate your own boundaries, you're actually respected. You're not appreciated for it.
Yeah,
You're
my
garnering
value is
less respect.
non-negotiable.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like is and that is something, even words matter because
Yeah.
words have like echo meaning.
Yeah.
And I do, and you and I are gonna have a segment on words that we will retire when we are queen and queen of the universe. One of them is being a servant leader because you know what? It implies that you are there to serve. Yes, you are, but not limitless,
Right.
not boundaryless,
Right.
right? So
Exactly.
yes, that is something that we as women need to make sure that we're negotiating the right thing and that we know our non-negotiables.
Yes.
So we have motherhood and professional success are not mutually exclusive. The everyday reality must match the compensation, the accommodations, and the opportunities.
Right. So this is the big deal. This is the point that I repeat over and over again, is how much less often women negotiate their and people usually say salary, and I said, it's compensation package. Salary is one aspect of the compensation package. It's a very important
Mhm.
aspect. It might be the most important aspect.
Mhm.
Once you reframe that into compensation package, it makes you realize, oh, there are all these different things, all these different ways I can negotiate,
Value. That's
right?
right.
Value, right? So even if it's a transit pass, a parking space, what about
Flexible hours.
right, exactly, hybrid hours, or how assignments are made, or increased equity stake, or vesting, or I mean, if there's a gym membership, and there's a long
There's a
list.
lot to negotiate. Yes.
Is there on-site daycare, or is there some sort of subsidy that is for daycare? Can you start one, right? There's a long list of other value you can negotiate with your compensation. And when you avoid that single negotiation in your life, your compensation package, the ROI on that, the return on investment, and this has been calculated by economists, over the course of your whole career comes out to about $1 million that you are foregoing by avoiding that single negotiation. That is real money. And that could be going to your children's college fund, to family vacations, to paying down a mortgage, buying
to
a
your
house.
own professional development, continued professional development.
So women, and again, mothers, 70% of US mothers are working outside the home. So if you are not negotiating your compensation package, it is hurting you in specific and measurable ways in terms of real money. And by avoiding that one act of discomfort, because people think it's uncomfortable to negotiate, which is why you have to practice it at home.
Or that is going to be punitive.
Exactly. You're actually avoiding more comfort coming into your life in terms of more compensation, more opportunities for you, for your family. And that's how that plays out.
It doesn't have to be, well, first of all, it's backed by law. It doesn't have to be, an either or. Like right now, it is not mutually inclusive, but it ought to be. If somebody, even right now, when people are being recalled back to work, or when somebody has the flexibility to work from home, is it damaging their career versus all the people that opt to come in every day because they either have a partner that they share responsibilities with or have no responsibilities, family responsibilities, right? All these needs to be, it's almost like a McDonald's index globally, right? It's about equanimity. It's
about equity. And ask your organization, ask your employer, are you tracking caregiver status of your employees? Because US companies are losing $35 billion a year by not tracking caregiver status of its employees and then putting structures in place to support that.
That's right.
And guess who that most affects? Guess who that most affects, Carolina?
Yeah, the emphasis that is placed on, after work networking events, or especially if no notice is given, spontaneity is a luxury that many people with responsibilities just don't have. And no, that doesn't mean that they're not team players. It just means that there are things that are more important. There are accommodations that need to be made. And you know what? You and I, for example, work around some personal challenges or limitations or boundaries or priorities that we have. But you know what? We make it work.
That's right. Because in addition to being a mother, I'm a special needs mother.
Yeah.
So that's a whole other kettle of fish.
That's another episode. We're going to continue with that. And the number one, if you think that for whenever you see a gap on resume or whenever you see somebody going through what it takes to coordinate a family, and the size is not necessarily indicative of how easy it is. You could have one child that is spirited or special needs, and that is, equivalent to having to coordinate, 3 children, right? But trust me, anybody who's running a family, a budget, especially single parents, whether it's men or women, anybody who's everything, who is the leader in that team, who's providing the leadership, the success, the functional guidance, the support, is the equivalent to an MBA. I tell you, whenever I used to volunteer for like pizza day or like any school trip, it was way more stressful than going to work on my C-suite job.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I remember the year that I volunteered every Friday all day in my son's classroom when he was in the 4th grade, all day long. And I'm doing, all the menial things like cutting the construction paper and the sorting the rocks from the geology unit and whatever else. And I remember this one time a dad showed up for like 30 minutes to read a story. I thought they were going to knight him on the spot. And there I was sorting the rock, like, yep, here every Friday, remember to tip your mom volunteer. It was remarkable.
Yeah, and it's the same with single dads. I mean, that's not to say that listen, we're not giving our best to our children. Most people are. But there's nothing like the commitment, the passion, the un what's the word I'm looking for? Unconditional commitment, responsibility, and love from
Yeah.
your mom, call your mom, and as a mom.
And I
So,
guess I'm here to say, maybe put some conditions on that. Think about it.
ooh, that's another
Not on
episode.
the love, not on the love part.
Not on the love,
Mhm.
but on respect,
Mhm.
right? Where like you're right. Is it has to, because that teaches them that we're humans, right? And to respect the effort and to respect the relationship and to cherish it. And I am so excited for all the moms, for all the executive moms, for all moms of grown-up children who now think they're your roommates and your friends. You know what is a love that I wish for everyone to experience.
There's
You
nothing
know,
like it in terms of developing as a human being yourself. There's just nothing like motherhood. And for all the expectant moms and the student moms, all of you out there,
that's right.
my heart goes out to you and I'm rooting for you. And go out and negotiate.
Negotiate how you're going to spend your Mother's Day and how your ecosystem is going to support you. So thank you, everyone. Have a fabulous day. Pamper yourself, treat yourself, because it all begins with you. Thank you, Lucia, and have a lovely Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day.
Empowering women on a global scale. This has been Powerful Women Today with Carolina Billings. To learn more about how you can join and transform your life and the lives of women everywhere with professional speaking, publishing, podcasting, and web TV, visit powerfulwomentoday.com. Remember to subscribe to this podcast on iTunes, YouTube, or wherever